Welcome back. Stocks are higher this morning. Take a look. Futures indicating a gain of 400 plus on the Dow Industrials and 360 plus on the NASDAQ. As you can see, stocks off of their best levels of the morning, however. Yields this morning have been dropping like a rock. Take a look at the 10-year, down 6.5 basis points on the 10-year, sitting at a level of 4.35%. This after a stronger than expected April jobs report. This was the ADP report. It showed 109,000 private sector jobs were added to the economy for the month, and that was up from 61,000 in the month of March. More evidence of a stable labor market. Joining me now is the founder of the Bear Traps report, Larry McDonald, back with us. And Larry, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here. What did you make of the jobs number, and how would you assess this market today?
Well, jobs have been so resilient, and I think the biggest thing in the market is the divergence. The really historic divergence between the Home Depots, the McDonald's, the Darden restaurants. I mean, really making Home Depot's down 26, 27% in a bull market. That hasn't happened since 2007. At the same time, the semiconductors, I mean, this is going to be the biggest blow off top we've ever seen. What's happening, Maria, is the second, third order effects in the straits that are coming from inflation that's going to really rear its ugly head in September. A lot of companies are forward double, triple ordering. And so the appearance, when you look at the earnings in the semiconductor space, it's really a lot of hot air. And those sea lanes and that global ecosystem that's massively disrupted, those second, third, fourth order effects are going to really rear their ugly head. I think the semiconductors, and that's what's leading the market. Well, I think the semiconductors are going to drop 50% between now and the end of the year.
Wait a second. You think semiconductors come down 50% between now and the end of the year?
Yeah, like a real crash. I mean, this is parabolic. The data that we're seeing, we have to go back. Really in history, we've never seen a sector move in 25 days up 60%, which is a sector in the S&P. It's unheard of, and it's a lot of games and a lot of front running.
Yeah, it's a great point that you make. And Adam, you mentioned Intel earlier. You also mentioned Micron Technology. And I want to show those stocks this morning, Larry, because you're hitting on where the leadership is in this market right now. But you think that leadership is about to change. You also made a comment on Intel. You said to me earlier, I would sell it right here.
Yeah, I actually would sell Intel. I mean, at this point, it's trading like 3 to 4 times the valuation of NVIDIA. NVIDIA, by contrast, in fact, a question to you, Larry, NVIDIA is trading at 30 times earnings with 80% growth. Or you can buy the S&P 500 that's trading at 22 times earnings, but it's only got 13 or 14% growth. At that point, I'm happy to own NVIDIA. I'm not happy to own Intel because they're trading at 3 to 4 times the valuation of NVIDIA. But I think you really do have to pick your stocks carefully, Larry.
Right. And what I'm really proud of, in the Bear Traps report, we did 4 or 5 different trade alerts about a year ago on Intel and Micron. I agree with you. We're out now. And I would say one very suspicious thing. NVIDIA is unchanged since October in the biggest bull market for semiconductors that we've ever seen. So that tells you, with a $5 trillion market cap, you can say whatever you want to say about the valuation, but it's very concentrated in a handful of players who are very concentrated revenue stream from NVIDIA versus, say, Microsoft or Meta. So in other words, you're unchanged in NVIDIA since October. It's becoming a $5 trillion. It's becoming a funding vehicle for everything else.
So are you saying you would also sell into NVIDIA right now as well, since it hasn't moved since October?
Well, I just don't like a $5 trillion valuation. I never like Intel. To me, passive investing has become evil. We talked about this in our book. NVIDIA and Microsoft are like 14% of the S&P. So if you have $1 million in the market, you get $140,000 in 2 stocks. And now, Elon and company and OpenAI and SpaceX and all these guys, they're going to try to jam 3 IPOs, 3 big ones, like 200 billion, 200 into the market without the normal grace period. This is really evil stuff that's going on. Evil. We're going to talk about it in 15 years from now, 5 years from now.
Wait, because of these 3 IPOs coming, SpaceX as well as Anthropic and OpenAI? You know,
I think he just dropped the mic after saying that those were evil.
he said that they were evil, but
Yeah.
but you look at the stock of Intel up better than 4% this morning, on top of a huge gain last week. And don't forget, the government, the U.S. government, took a 10% stake in Intel. And I asked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent about it on Sunday. Here's what he said about Intel. Watch this.
Intel is our national champion. With semiconductors, the government took a stake several months ago under President Trump's direction. I was in the Oval when he told the CEO of Intel that he would like a 10% stake. The CEO turned it over, and the U.S. government's made between $30 and $40 billion on that, and no one wants to give the president credit for that. And he is working for the American people every day. So not only, Maria, not only do we have more national security, we have a more resilient balance sheet.
Larry McDonald back with us. That was this Treasury Secretary answering my question on Intel. The government made $30 billion on taking that 10% stake in the company, Larry.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We need more of that. We need to bring jobs home. I agree with all that. But what I was talking about before is you don't want to jam IPOs. You get billionaires making money in Silicon Valley that have been in OpenAI, they've been in Anthropic, they've been in SpaceX for years. Now they're going to dump it into passive investors. And what they're doing is they're waiving the grace period. And we have to really stand up to this. Normally when a company comes into the index or the NASDAQ or the S&P, there's a period, there's a lot of checks and balances. They're trying to waive all that. And so my point is you got Microsoft and NVIDIA that are 14% of the S&P, and now we're going to try to jam this stuff. So the whole market, the whole passive market's going to be one big artificial intelligence overdose.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, well, we were talking about this as being a positive for the major banks. I mean, when you look at these IPOs planned, do you think they'll trade well? I mean, I understand what you're saying in terms of why you say they're evil, because the billionaires are going to make more money on it. But I mean, these are companies that are expected to grow significantly. Would you buy into any of them?
Well, it's a little bit like the Facebook IPO. You had a hot season way back when. I mean, that was a long time ago. But you had a big drop after the IPO. And I would say the first one's going to price really well, probably SpaceX. That's going to take, it's like a huge dinner table with a big heavyset guy at the table. I mean, it's going to absorb a lot of buying power. And then the other ones are going to struggle. And that's going to cause a real problem for the market later in the year. But it's just too much money to bring into the market in a short period of time. And I hope that the NASDAQ and the S&P don't waive that grace period.
All right, we will leave it there. Larry, always a pleasure. Great stuff. Thanks very much for weighing in on all of that.
Thanks, Maria.
Good to see you, sir.
Okay.
Larry McDonald. We'll be right back with California Congressman Ro Khanna. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business.